Phew! Wow, I wasn't expecting the FNAF 1 through 4 re-review video to surpass my Sonic 2006 video in terms of length. But then again, that's what I get for taking a look at 4 games in one video, but that's besides the point. From now on, I am taking a look at just 1 game per video. So let's start this off with Five Nights at Freddy's 5, aka Sister Location. Enjoy the show! Hello and welcome back everyone to the FNAF October Extravaganza. Yes, that's what I'm calling it. Yes, it is a dumb name. My name is literally Horror Kid. Wait, how old am I anymore? Where last time I revisited the first 4 games, and now I'm on to was quite possibly the most divisive one in the franchise that isn't Security Breach, that being Sister Location. Sister Location, much like its predecessors, is a point-and-click survival horror developed by Cawthon and was published by him for the PC version, with Click Team LLC handling the console and mobile versions. For PC and mobile, it was released in 2016 before being ported to iOS in 2017, before finally being ported to Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation in the summer of 2020. Now, much like the first 4 games, I'll be using Sister Location's PS4 port, though I will also discuss some parts of the mobile version since that is how I first played this. I'm sorry gamers, I failed you. Now, Sister Location is pretty much the Zelda 2 or Castlevania 2 of the FNAF franchise. Some people like it, some don't. Where do I fall? Well, that's what I'm mainly here to figure out. So without further ado, let's answer the question. Is Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location any good? And is it a game I can recommend to you? Let's find out. No, seriously, how fucking old am I? I've been here for so long, I don't even remember. I'm a fucking cartoon. Do I even age? Can you age in hell? So upon starting up the game, we notice one major thing that sets this game apart from the rest. Scott finally got money to get a full voice cast. This includes Heather Masters as Circus Baby, Michela Ross as Ballora, Zahara J. Naqib, I am hoping I am pronouncing that name right, as the Biddy Babs, Becky Shrimpton as the Bonnie Ham Puppet, PJ Haywood as William Afton, and last but certainly not least, Kellen Goff as Funtime Freddy. If I have to talk about the voice actors now, I say that they did a pretty good job as their respective characters, though I can't help but hear a tiny bit of Krusty the Clown whenever Kellen Goff does Funtime Freddy's laugh. Or that could be just me.
What the hell was that?
Anyway, upon opening the game with no save file, prompts a cutscene to play with an interviewer voiced by John Matthew questioning William Afton, who is revealed to be the co-founder of Fazbear Entertainment Incorporated and founder of Afton Robotics LLC, regarding unique designs. Yeah, sure, unique. Good choice of words, Willie. When it comes to some of the animatronics, from here Afton began listing off several features regarding the star animatronic in this bunch, Circus Baby, such as dispensing ice cream or inflating balloons at her fingertips. Fuck off, weirdos, I'm not going that low. But now we kick off the primary events of the game, so this time we're playing as Michael? As in Mike Schmidt from FNAF 1? Well, kinda. You see, Mike Schmidt is actually a pseudonym for our main character here, Michael Afton, son of William Afton, also voiced by PJ Haywood. Now, Michael is working as a new employee for Circus Baby's Entertainment and Rentals, an underground facility where families can rent the Funtime animatronics, that's what they're called, for their child's birthday. Cause parents are brain dead. Who in the zuck would want these things in their house? He's not even trying to hide the fact that these are murder machines anymore. Those aren't even friendly in the slightest. That's the nightmare from Sparks of Hope. If I ever saw it in my house, I stab it with swords.
Kill it! Kill it with fire! Everyone flee!
we're underground cause... why? I have a feeling this is only the beginning of these questions, isn't it? Originally, the fun times were from Circus Baby's Pizza World, which is, well, a sister location to the OG Freddy Fazbear's Pizza from the first game, but Pizza World was forced to shut down due to supposed gas leaks before it was even open. Fazbear Entertainment trying not to be sketchy challenge. Impossible! Now, Michael isn't alone during his shift at Entertainment and Rentals, as he is joined by Hand Unit voiced by Andy Fields. So, unlike the first 4 games, each night brings something new, while also telling as close to a cohesive plot possible. Get MatPat to voice this guy next time. Like on night 2, where the power goes out and Michael is forced to manually reboot all systems by crawling through Ballora Gallery to reach the breaker room, while also trying not to get killed by the robotic Krusty the Bear. On night 3, Michael is ambushed by Funtime Foxy, making this jump scare canon to the franchise, and is placed into a springlock suit, which kicks off night 4. Which, can I just say, fuck night 4! Jesus H. fucking Christ, this night is borderline torture! I thought people were exaggerating when they say night 4 is the hardest night in the franchise, but fucking no! This night lasts about 3 minutes long, but it feels like 3 fucking hours. And even then, whenever I do feel like I'm almost done with this night, the game just says, fuck you, here's a jump scare, choke on a cock and try again! A lot of people hated this so much that Scott had to go patch the game just to make this night easier, but I say this night needed a whole fucking surgery. And I am playing this on the latest patch release on the PlayStation 4 and 5, and it's still possibly the hardest thing I've ever done. And I've played fucking Cuphead and Dark Souls and Genocide Undertale and most of the God of War games on hard. Get on my fucking level. And if you, by some stretch of a miracle, can make it past night 4, you go down to Entertainment and Rentals only to see that weird ass clown mask that you would normally see now gone. And much like FNAF 3, this game also has different endings.
Exotic butters.
How long until someone makes a remix of
Exotic butters. Exotic butters.
Let's discuss the non-canon ending first. What is this, Shabak the Cuckhog? You see, every time you die, you have the chance of getting a minigame where you play a circus baby in an 8-bit 2D platformer where you have to give cupcakes to children. You know, that sentence would sound weird in any other franchise, but this. Hey kid, want some candy? Now notice how Circus Baby's eyes are blue here instead of the normal emerald green. If you manage to feed all the kids, you'll get an ice cream cone, which you need to bring back to the very start of the entire level, by the way, with very little time to boot, where Baby places the ice cream down and the little girl walks towards it, only for Baby to grab the girl and basically kill her. And notice how the girl's eyes are green here. So we can assume that this little girl is possessing Baby. This little girl is Elizabeth Afton, daughter of William, aka the purple guy, and the little sister of Michael Afton, who we can also assume to be the older sister of the crying child from FNAF 4. So, wait. Let me get this straight here. We got death by internet meme, death by... and now death by... Despicable Me 2? Does Child Protective Services not exist in indie games? And don't even get me started on you, Asgore! Now, before you all say how William basically murdered his own daughter, he did tell Elizabeth to not go near Baby, but Elizabeth, being a child, disobeys dear old dad and went close to her, and this is what happened, causing Circus Baby's Pizza World to close before it even opened. See, kids, this is what happens when you don't obey your parents. Says the child murderer! Anyway, the non-canon ending places you in an office where you have to fend off from this asshole. Ennard. Now, Ennard is basically an amalgamation of all the other animatronics, including the Bonnie hand puppet. So it's a classic game of the first FNAF mixed with the audio cues of FNAF 4. Luckily, it's only the one animatronic, where you have to survive from 12 to 6. Survive and Michael goes home, only for Ennard to follow him. And no one sees it. Oh, fuck it. No one sees anything in this world, and I thought the humans in Invader Zim were stupid. Now, for the real ending. Ennard, using Baby's voice box, lures Michael into a room called the Scooping Room, where Ennard uses the scooper to essentially kill Michael so they can go into his body as a disguise. But wait, there's even more. Oh, just fuck me with your lore already, Scott! If you beat all the custom night challenges, we see Michael's body slowly decay until he is that good old familiar shade of purple as he vomits Ennard into the sewers and is essentially dead, but the voice of Elizabeth revives Michael back to life. Because fuck it! That's why! It's just how it works at this point!
Remember, son, dying is gay. Yes, father.
And now he's off to find his dad, William, so at least that sort of confirms who we might have been playing as during FNAF 3. So in terms of where in the everlasting fuck sister location fits in the timeline, a lot of people tend to be split on whether it takes place in 1993 post FNAF 1 or in 2023 but before the events of FNAF 3. As for me, I kinda wanna say this takes place in 2023 but pre-FNAF 3, because I don't care how intelligent Afton is. Unless you're Eggman, you're not making these robots in the goddamn 1990s! Or in simpler terms, fuck you! But that ends my plot summary of Sister Location. And God, that was, oh Jesus Christ. On a bike, on his way to Ike's. The story itself was honestly kind of all over the place, if I'm being real here. While it felt somewhat cohesive to understand, there is so much lore and backstory that it feels like it artificially bloated the game's story.
Patrick,
Yeah, SpongeBob?
I don't think this bubble can get much bigger.
Nonsense!
But, like I said, the voice acting isn't terrible. In fact, I go as far as to say it's pretty good for the first mainline FNAF game to feature voice acting from more people other than just Scott. Not counting FNAF World, which is a story for a whole other day. But everything that is told in the lore regarding this game specifically makes my head hurt. This makes Kingdom Hearts look like Pac-Man games, and Rick and Morty look like Charlie fucking Brown!
Ugh, my brain hurts. I can't keep up with plot points this complicated.
But let's just move on to the gameplay already while I take some Advil. Sister Location's gameplay has us in the shoes of Michael Afton, aka Eggs Benedict. Glad to know that this computer was programmed by a Starbucks employee. This review is officially topical. Name of the game is actually different each night, but each night starts the same. We appear in an elevator followed by crawling into a vent. Is Michael just Solid Snake in disguise? Because he does a lot of crawling. Okay, I'm not making the obvious ass joke. This guy was introduced as a child, and I'm not like you people that simp for Baby. And I don't want to be in this video anymore. Goodbye. Anyway, like I said, each night brings something new to the table, but the game, in the case of Ballora, much like FNAF 4, relies on audio, but this time we're not looking out for robo-breath or footsteps. Instead, we're listening to Ballora's music, where the music goes from one earphone piece to the other as she makes a complete rotation around Michael. Cute. Like a lullaby from a Hey, wait a minute! Who's delusional enough to marry and procreate with Afton in the first place?
You're the most repulsive person I have ever met.
I throw my used car batteries into the ocean. Where the fuck am I?
In terms of the breaker room, it's mostly just trial and error. Night 3 is fairly tricky since the hand unit tells you to click on the button on Freddy's left cheek. Now what he means by that is Freddy's left. The way how I see it is that I imagine myself in the POV of the animatronic in question. And what would normally be the right side for someone facing me, from my perspective, it's my left. I hope this makes sense. If not, too bad. Anyway, now we have the monetizable torture fest that is Night 4, and I couldn't beat this moving on. Now Night 5's gameplay, like I said in the story summary, could go one of two ways. Crawl through the hall to the scooping room to get your organ scoop out like fresh spaghetti, or go to a restricted office and play classic FNAF with NR. So basically, you die no matter what you do. Existence is nothing and life is pain, especially if you're me and you live in hell. So overall, I say this is a pretty decent change of the FNAF formula, just in case it was going to get stale after 4 games, which is needed. Like, we all kinda like the first 4 games, but the same pressing the button gameplay is going to get stale if you do it like game franchises need change, Sonic fans! I say this as someone who has the same shtick for most of my videos, but anyways, visual time! Yay! Let me die already! Visually,
This is fine.
Sister Location uses the exact same engine as the previous games, though the color palette mainly uses a lot of dark blues in terms of lighting, except for the main office, which uses a less puke looking green.
Puke-a-doodle-doo!
The animatronics themselves are honestly terrifying in concept and in execution, especially when it comes to the jump scares. To me at least, the jump scares in this game might just be some of the most freakiest things ever, since the fun times all have the unique property of essentially splitting their faceplates apart, which, again, bullshit. This takes place in the 1990s, and if you're scared of clowns, well, prepare to piss yourself while playing this. Now, in terms of OST, it does have a few tracks, but much like FNAF 1 through 4, it's mainly the fan songs that carry this. Mainly enjoyed the show by Natewantstobattle, since that's kinda the only Sister Location song I really enjoyed. Is it obvious I like Natewantstobattle yet? Alright, let's recap this. I think the story is pretty mediocre despite it having a pretty good voice cast. Gameplay wise, outside of Night 4, is pretty diverse and varied throughout the game. Visually, despite some parts being pretty dark, is pretty good with the use of the game's color palette and lighting, but OST is mainly ambiance. So here are my closing thoughts.
There's one more secret I feel I have to share with you.
I did not care for Sister Location. Now, before any of the Sister Location Circus Baby and Ballora Sibs come at me with their spring-locked suits, I think the game is fine. It's just that there's a whole lot of things that I didn't like that hindered my overall enjoyment of this. Me personally, while the switch from straight-up horror to science fiction horror is neat in concept, in execution, it just created a whole lot of questions regarding the lore that would probably give a die-hard Kingdom Hearts and Mortal Kombat fan a brain aneurysm. Like I said, the story, well, when taking the lore into consideration in all of this, will make your brain want to pop a vein. Hell, if it wasn't obvious in the case of my voiceovers during the story section, it was really hard for me to not scream at just how much bullcrap this game pulls out of its ass. And before the FNAF snobs come at me trying to explain it, if I need outside sources to understand this, then just say it.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
The gameplay itself was fine up until Night 4. Visually, I say this might be my personal favorite if I were to judge these, but visuals don't make or break a game, PC gamers! But OST, while yes it has more songs, mainly the ending shift theme, it's mainly the fan songs that carry this like the first 4 games. So, it's with all that in mind, Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location gets my score of a 4.5 out of 10. But now, I wanna know from you all. Did you play Sister Location? What did you think of it? And is it a game you would recommend to a friend? Please leave your answers and more down in the comments. I'm pretty sure it'll probably be a massive shitstorm if people were to comment on these videos. As always, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to be notified whenever I make a new video. As always, my social media links are down below. So now, I think after all this complaining, I think it's time that I take my hand at making the pizzeria myself.
Fine. I'll do it myself.